classes that are very limited, feats can often be like strategically useful to fill in the gaps of what your character can do.
Sure.
And then, of course, character-wise, like feats are just fun. Like feats are more fun than ability score increases.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I recommend anything, it's usually to get a feat. So if you wanted to get a
Right.
feat, that would be fine. Just if you are thinking strategic, I think that the obvious strategic benefit here would be the ability score increase.
Sure.
But I usually don't care about that as
And
much
I know
as
you had said I've got a lot of odd numbers anyway, and
that's true.
so a lot of these will be
Right.
actual
You
modifier
got,
increases too.
I'd recommend wisdom, but you know, any of them would be well, maybe not intelligence, but who knows? Maybe you'll be using intelligence a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you'll use.
Well, all I've really got to work with is what I know I've already used a lot of, which is wisdom, honestly. I mean, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, wisdom.
There's
I
a
guess
lot of
constitution, although your animal forms take a lot of hits too.
yes. I've kind of considered animal form to be the, the double hit points basically.
Right. I mean, dexterity would increase your armor class and your initiative.
Yeah.
But you know, wisdom increases a lot. It's not as essential for you as it is for other druid circles because wisdom doesn't really help your animal forms quite as much.
Right.
But still, I mean, all your spellcasting is based on. Sorry, I'm flipping around at your sheet.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Because you guys live outside of town, you'll probably need to pay for an inn in town. If you guys were not both playing as hermits, or if even one of you was like a cleric or something, I wouldn't make you pay. But you're both hermits that live in the woods near Hope. One of you isn't even from this region, given your Arctic flavor. So I need you guys to pay for some inns. How nice are you going as far as your stay? You've got company. Oh, right. No, first thing, when you get there, Margie is not going to return to Orlane with you unless you make a case for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have anything there anymore.
No. I was thinking, I will take her there to Hook Oak and call it good.
She has family in Hook Oak that she hasn't actually ever met before.
Right.
But she knows that she does have family in Hook Oak, and she knows roughly where they live and what their name is, so she should be able to find them. She does offer you, if you need a place to stay, they may possibly help, but she has absolutely no idea what that is. She feels very uncomfortable offering that, but she also feels like she has to.
Right.
You get the feeling that's not going to be something that you can rely on.
Before she leaves, I'm going to hand her the tabard that we took off of the paladin.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's dirty, but it's not quite as ruined as all the tabards you've. It seems like the cultists were a little bit cleaner with their kills than you guys were. They didn't explode any heads, so it could be fixed up.
I was thinking she might appreciate the.
She does, and not only does she's like, I've seen this before.
You have.
This is from the temple in Hookhill. We've had a couple people pass through recently. Oh shit! I didn't get. What's the monk's name? What was the name of the monk that you killed?
Oh, you didn't have one?
I did not have a name for that monk.
Oh man, because I kept getting him mixed up with a Dromo or whatever.
Yeah, the monk that you guys killed in like a second. Or the wizard shocked him, and then Braun finished him off. That's what it was. Or maybe Diego finished him off.
Some combination of the wizard, Diego, and Braun.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know what his name is.
Okay, well that's fine. Well, she mentions him, and you don't know the name, but you eventually figure out she's talking about the monk. And there was a paladin that passed through, but she didn't catch him before he left.
Yeah. Not the same paladin that we found in the dungeon.
Yeah, that's what
you found a paladin in the dungeon.
Yeah, the one with the sunstone.
Oh, she's not as shocked as she's been shocked so many times lately. She's just kind of her developing depression deepens about a foot, but
Gotcha.
There's no immediate she's like right, of course. So she knows who the tabard belongs to, and she might have some idea of where to take it.
I see. All right.
So let me look at the prices on how you guys are staying. So there's no specific amount of time you need to be here, but the way I'm doing this is I'm giving you guys 3 rounds a day, 3 turns a day, to and you can use a turn to try to locate a seller or a buyer or something, or try to hire somebody. So a turn can be, and so you can do basically 3 things a day, and we can negotiate about what's a turn and what's not. But I'm gonna say your first turn is gonna be locating a place to stay.
Yeah.
And doing all this stuff with Margie and all that, getting yourself situated in town. Going through gate security and all that. Yep. So if you spend your first day and you roll really bad, you could spend another day and maybe find stuff that's better. So I feel like that way, the more time you spend here, the more you're able to do, basically.
Sure. I mean, I imagine somebody here recognizes us, possibly just.
I'd say you have probably. If you guys want to try to find a place to stay with a friend or an old acquaintance, I could have you guys roll a charisma or something to try and locate a place to stay for free.
I mean,
you'll have to do that every.
Yeah, I'm imagining I've got some sort of fellow professors that.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
Maybe the white.
Was your academic?
Maybe
hold on though. Were you an academic in Hokoke? Because where did you develop all of your animal shapes? I imagine it was in the mountains up here.
Well, yeah. I mean. I don't know any other places in this entire world. So
that's fair. I should have early when I realized you were going Arctic. I probably should have been like, wait a minute. So where are you from?
Yeah.
But we didn't really nail that down.
Being a tight-fisted, stingy curmudgeon, I'm gonna try and locate any old friends or acquaintances or people I might have healed in the past that I can scrounge a bed off of.
Yeah, roll just roll with charisma. And you're trying to beat a 12, I'm gonna say. +1 because you're grumpy, and another +1 because it's been a really long time. To your DC. So DC 12, just charisma. Well, you actually managed to find. You find 2 options here. One of them is an old. You were in academia also, right?
Me? No. I
No, okay. You were studying like your magic and stuff, or something. I can't remember.
on my own. Yeah.
Okay. So you actually managed to find somebody that you uh, developed a friendship with for a little while when you were going into town for supplies, just somebody who would sell you supplies, and you just hung out a bit. Uh, you guys never really externally expressed that you guys were friends, but you were. So it's not too super weird to ask for a place to stay, especially in this world. I imagine it's not quite as weird. Like you can't exactly, I don't know, whatever. You find a friend. You also happen to know where an old flame lives, who you may be able to stay with. Although bringing another hermit with you might make it a little tougher. So, you know. You could stay. I'm going to say you could stay with her as long as you, or him. I don't want to assume, as long as you like. With this friend, you're probably going to have to make charisma checks every day.
I'll stay with the friend.
All right. Yeah. So you have a guaranteed place to stay today.
Okay, great.
And this friend may be able to help you out with local supplies for not like magic items per se, but perhaps potion sellers.
Okay. All right, great. And
that's your first turn of the day. And you guys could technically, if you separated, you could have 6 turns a day, but I recommend sticking together, partly because that makes everything simpler, but also because you'll essentially have advantage on almost every roll because you're both doing it. So
right.
Yeah.
Is Jasper also staying with the friend, or
yes, you can
okay.
both both stay with the friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
With the 20, it's not too much of an argument.
Well, depending on whether we go with the 20 or the 8.
Oh, I didn't even see the 8. I was going on the 20. We'll say it's a 16 because Jasker was helping.
Okay.
So you'll have to make another check tomorrow. But
okay, sure.
Okay. The DC will, I'd say, be lower if you're good guests, which I imagine you're pretty good guests.
Oh.
I would think so, yeah. I haven't lost that much being out in the wild.
You do have 3 people, don't you?
Oh, we've let Margie go? Or on her
you let Margie go, but you brought Waylon with you.
Alright.
Waylon! I forgot about Waylon, yeah.
I'll let Waylon stay here for the first day for free. Waylon also has... She can stay not too far out of town, the woods to the north. She can go there, but she won't be able to accompany you on all your errands if she does that. So for now, she's with you for today.
What kind of equipment does Waylon have? Does she have like a shield? Can she use a shield?
Yes. She's got like a very nice club, a shield, maybe a little less nice. She's got a basic sling, water skin, deer hide armor.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
She's only got 9 sling bullets, but she doesn't really use the sling much because she's used it once, right?
Yes.
You guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's got a little bit of gold. She's got a little knife.
Yeah.
Blanket. She does note that if you guys are going to be traveling a lot, you may want a tent. 1 tent could suffice because it'll hold 2 people comfortably, and you guys tend to take watches.
Right.
But she notes that she hasn't traveled a lot in the past, and she's realizing how valuable a tent can be, especially because she doesn't have a bedroll; she just has a blanket.
Aw.
She
Yeah.
usually just spreads her furs out on the ground.
Yeah, and it's becoming expensive to rent hotels.
Yeah. There's no hotels in the dim forest.
That's true. But at the same time, if we found another hermit, he'd probably be asking for compensation or something.
That's true. He's like, "Oh, pick me some mushrooms," and then you go pick the mushrooms, and they scream at you.
Well, we found a place to stay. Jasper, what are you looking for in town? Anything?
Uh, Mostly just supplies. I'm thinking, yeah. Is there a college or university here that I could shoehorn my backstory into?
Yeah. There's more than one. They're mostly trade oriented, but
Okay.
there's a small what do you call it? I'll say an academy that sort of studies magic.
Okay.
It's doesn't have a lot of students coming in and out, but
Yeah.
it's a center of magical study and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a big church town.
Sure.
Is the only thing.
Sure.
But there is a place where that can happen.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah, so-
imagining like going there, checking in as like a higher educated individual, and like being like, hey, I could guest teach one of your classes. Check this out, and I
Yeah.
could turn into a bear or a wolf or something.
Right.
Freak everybody
I
out.
will say making money is an option in here. Like you guys could do tasks or jobs for money. That takes a little while, so you may end up spending more time here doing that.
See, that was also the other thing, is like we had a ton of treasure to try to trade in.
Mhm.
Jashka, if you want to get like go to the school and get some research done or whatever, I can try and find maybe a buyer for one of these weapons and all.
Sure.
Take out and look at one of the
Yeah.
weapons we got here.
I'm up for that.
Okay. If you're splitting up, you won't be able to help each other on your rolls.
True.
We can't waste our first day. We gotta get stuff done.
All right. And second thought is, would you like Waylon to accompany one of you, or would you like Waylon? One thing she offers to do is to go hunting outside of the city and try to make some money. That's something she can do if you guys are hurting for cash. She knows she won't be too much help in the city.
Yep. Well, while I'm personally am not hurting for cash, based on the value of all those treasure items, I'm imagining that I'm pretty much on the low side. So I would be perfectly fine with her drumming up some funds.
No.
Cool.
The way that would work is, she would roll a survival check for her turn of the day. I'm gonna say this is just for her day. Hunting is very time consuming. Yeah, she'd roll a survival check for the day, and if she rolls over 10, you roll her damage dice, and that's how many gold she makes. Which at the moment is a sling, so she'll make 1d4 gold.
That helps, yeah.
Every little bit helps. If you were to spend money on a short bow for her, it would go up to 1d6.
Right.
Her shillelagh's not going to be much help. So, but at the moment, she'll produce 1d4 gold for you per day. Not super reliably, because she'll have to succeed on the survival check, but she's good at survival.
Well, yeah, I'd say we let her
Okay.
do her thing with the stuff she's got. It's gonna be minimal, but not too.
At the end of this day, just try to remember to roll the survival check and the money dice.
All right.
But for now, you guys are splitting up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're trying to make some cash, Jasker,
Sure. Yes.
and maybe
I'll say.
possibly some connections if you roll well enough.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Take a couple of those pieces and see if I can pawn them.
So, do you think a persuasion check makes sense here? You're attempting to convey your that you're like an experienced professional that could be useful in this job.
Mm-hmm.
You are not dressed the part, so I'm gonna say this may be more of a. I could see persuasion working here, or something, either persuasion or just straight wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
whichever you prefer, whichever's higher.
Yeah. Well, wisdom's always higher.
Okay. If you're proficient in persuasion, it might even out. But
No,
yeah.
sadly, no.
So yeah, just roll a wisdom check and see if you're able to. Yeah. With a 16, you are able to make. Let me see. I have some rules here for making money over your account. Here we go. Wages. All right. I'm gonna have you right now commit for a certain amount of time of working. I think that makes more sense.
Sure.
How many? Let's say. How many days are you going to commit? At least 2 turns to working.
How many?
How many days? So like.
So
sorry,
I consume 2 of my rolls per
day. Like 2 of your. So each day you have 3 turns to like do stuff, to gather stuff in town. Only one of those turns will you be able to help Braun.
How long do we?
But you will get consistent income to help Braun with.
Yeah.
I'll remind you, you have some pretty pricey stuff to get off your hands. So
True.
Money may not be an issue if you do a good job on those. So you can commit to just like 2 days or 1 day.
Yeah.
You just won't make as much sense.
Okay, working. Okay.
Yeah. I'm making this stuff up on the fly. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Weird. I'm having to think about it on the fly too. Okay, that I would say 2, maybe 3, but probably just the 2.
All right. So for 2 days, let me look at lifestyle expenses, because you'll be basically earning a comfortable lifestyle.
Yeah.
I would say this is a pretty well-paying gig, but it requires commitment and time, which you are not willing to give. So the amount will be a little lower. Lifestyle expenses. Where are lifestyle expenses? The player's handbook somewhere. There they are. Per day. Okay. You can right now, make 4 gold. And you'll make that 4 gold tomorrow as well.
All right.
So you'll spend your 2 turns for today working.
Okay.
And then tomorrow you'll spend you've committed to spending those other 2 days working. But at the end of both, you'll make 4 gold.
All right.
So Jasper's off doing that in the meantime. Ron.
Yeah, I'm going to try and locate a buyer for one of these magical weapons that we have.
All right. Do you have? Okay, yeah. Make an investigation check. Okay. Any specific item that you're looking to sell? The swords, the holy symbol. You don't necessarily have to specify, but
yeah, I think first of all I'm going to sell the try to find a buyer for the holy symbol.
holy symbol. All right. So you've definitely found a potential buyer. I want to see how good this buyer is. I want you to roll a persuasion check. Okay. Holy symbol. You managed to find a collector of old jewelry, and you managed to find an auction house and talk up one of the sellers about where they can find somewhere to sell. You show them the artifact, and they mention, oh, this person over here might be interested, and you manage to make an appointment with somebody who will take your. You go into their house, and they've got in their sort of entrance room, they've immediately got there's a suit of armor that has a crown on it, and there's some stuff on the wall. Not a lot of weapons per se and armor. There's a suit of armor, but mostly it's baubles and a lot of holy symbols and necklaces and things like that. And they will take that holy symbol off your hands for 400 gold.
But, is he open to trading?
He may be open to trading. Yes. What are you in the mood for?
Yeah. How does
I'm trying to think now.
Yeah.
I should have prepared a couple of sellers. I was floundering about what kind of mechanics I wanted to use for.
Yeah, I was wondering about the mechanics too. Yeah, I can't think of anything at the moment. But
I'll tell you right now, you won't be able to trade for something of the same value. He's not going to give you back something from his collection that's worth just as much. But he may bring he may pay you 300 gold and a lesser magic item. So, for instance, he's got a. Let me see. Well, I'm just looking at like what are some curious magic items that a collector like this would like.
Ba, 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 ba.
He's got a jar, just like a kind of a fancy jar that has the lid doesn't actually like screw on or anything, so you'll have to figure out something to keep the lid on, just like tie a rope around it or something. It's clearly meant to sit on a desk, but it's full of these little like boba looking beads. It's like kind of squishy, semi-transparent brown beads, and if you eat one of them, it'll sustain you for an entire day. They don't taste like much, but it's essentially a jar full of beads of nourishment, and so this will essentially negate your need for rations for the rest of the campaign. And he'll sell you he'll buy that amulet, or he'll buy the holy symbol for 300 gold and this jar of beads of nourishment. Let me see. He also has beads of refreshment, which negate your need for water. So.
That sounds like a fairly good trade. I think the jar, the beads of nourishment, and the
300 gold.
Yeah.
If this was like yeah, I was just trying to think. This isn't like buying from a vendor, because he's not incentivized to part with the items in exchange for money. Quite the opposite. He's inclined to part with his money in exchange for more items. So trading isn't quite as profitable with this particular seller, but he will part with these beads of nourishment because they're not useful to him. And they're not as pretty as some of the other stuff he has. All right, so you can take the holy symbol out of your inventory, add 300 gold, which he will provide in at least partly in platinum if you prefer, because that is lighter to travel with. It's harder to trade with, but it's lighter to travel with. You would be doing a lot of that, and you can add bead jar or beads of nourishment to your inventory with a weight of, I'll say, 2, and you don't have to keep track of how many beads are in there, because this adventure is not going to go long enough for you to run through those.
Okay.
It can feed a large, like a decently sized party for long enough. You also have a fancy jar that they're in, which it's up to you whether to keep them in the jar or not. It's not. The jar is not built for an adventuring group to carry with them. It's meant to sit on a desk somewhere. But
I might buy a better jar to actually keep the beads in.
You just buy a standard glass bottle, which will be. You can do this without it, just like basic adventuring equipment. If it's not like armor or something, that doesn't take a turn. If you want, you can buy a glass bottle for 2 gold, and you've still got a fancy jar in your inventory.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
All right. And you've got 1 turn left.
Did you say he would pay in platinum as opposed to gold?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you want some of it in platinum and some of it in gold.
That's okay. I'm happy with just Platinum.
Okay.
Gold.
Platinum you'll be able to sell platinum in the city very easily. Outside of the city, you might have trouble
Mm-hmm.
getting rid of your platinum for like a fair conversion rate.
Yeah.
There's a money changer in Orlando. But,
All right. Well, does this guy have a name?
I don't know, does he?
It's pulling up the thing, Don John.
You guys don't have to do this. I can stop doing this.
No, it's fine. It's
Okay.
I thing is, Don John, I can never find like a good name. They're always weird.
Yeah, that's why I don't use. That's why I ask my players.
Okay, well, no, he did enough to have a name then. Okay, I got one turn left.
His name is Greg Burt. Greg Burt, John Greg Burt of the Hoke Greg Burts.
Okay.
Okay.
Your friend directs you to a cellar or to an alchemist he uses a lot if you're in the need for alchemical supplies, potion making supplies, possibly potions, although he's not a seller of potions per se. Well, he is a seller of potions, but he usually sells to shops. But you have this is kind of a good deal because you don't have to deal with the middleman.
Right.
So you might not have the breadth of like options with this seller, but you might have a better price.
Which direction was the alchemist? That way?
Yeah.
What would, if we wanted to get the components to make a healing potion, what would that be? Would that be a day or a turn?
It would be a turn to arrange this, but then like it would be a turn to get the supplies, but then like you can make the potions on your own time, including like while you're resting and stuff. So if you get the supplies, it'll be one turn, and you can get enough supplies to make multiple potions.
Okay.
Just because this is your first time going to this prison.
Yeah. I'm gonna seek out the alchemist guy and see what sort of herbs and basic components he has. And I'm going to ask if he has the exotic components that could be made into a healing potion.
All right. Actually, I'm going to revise this a little. I think I'm going to say you can use a turn to buy or craft a healing potion at his workshop. If you craft a potion there, like that's just a nice workspace that he's willing to let you use. You'll still have to pay for the materials that he's providing, but you could essentially, make a healing potion the way that you normally do at almost half price.
Okay, great. How much would it be for the components?
For a regular, like basic healing potion, it's going to cost 25 gold, right? Because it's 50 gold for a potion. Halved if you're making it yourself.
Yeah.
And then I'll just say another gold to use the workspace.
Okay.
So 26 gold, make a potion, and you can make that in one turn. If you want to make higher level healing potions, you could do that.
Is it?
It's more expensive.
Oh.
There are higher level healing potions. Hold on a second. A greater healing potion, which is instead of the regular one is 2d4 plus 2. a greater healing potion is 4d4 plus 4.
Oh boy, I'm probably learning about this just now as I'm sitting in the shop.
Yeah. So why don't you make a regular one first?
Yeah.
You've never made a greater. And in fiction, in like real-time canon, you haven't made a regular one either, but I imagine you've made one in the past because you're proficient with herbals and kit. But yeah, yeah, you can use this turn to make a regular healing potion, no check required. It will just be 26 gold, and you can mark down a regular healing potion.
Okay, so if I take out three platinums, that's 30 gold with 4 left over. Okay.
I think a greater one also takes more time to craft.
I would imagine so. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I spend my afternoon in this alchemist shop and using his equipment, and
he does have a couple things to sell. He has one antidote that he hasn't sold off yet, or not an antitoxin, which will like cure up poison if you use it soon after you're infected. And he also does have one greater healing potion that he's willing to sell for. He's willing to sell it for, I believe it's 450 gold, but he'll bring it down to 455. So quite expensive. But he's got it there if you need to. If you have the money later. So.
All right. Well, I think that's a good day's work for me.
Okay. So roll a survival check for William. One of you.
Race you.
All right, that's a 16, so that's definitely a fine. Roll 1d4. One gold.
She shot a bunny.
Yeah. So, I mean, whoever wants to take that gold down. Why don't, yeah. One person could add that to their inventory.
All right.
It's just because it's easier than keeping track of Wayland's gold.
Yeah.
Jasper, you're the senior druid here.
All right. I'll take 5, one for her, and then my 4. And I'll come back to the friend's house, and I'll be like, check it out, look what I made today. And I'll jingle my 4 coins. Meanwhile, Braun is like, holy symbol, all this other stuff.
Right. Alright, so day 2. If you're not doing anything, notable at night.
Gotta go out hunting rats for the stupid rat catcher. Man.
Yeah. Day 2, are you going to bring Wayland with anyone? Jasker is working again. Well, I'll say Jasker has, right, because you do have 1 turn free.
Yeah. I'm not.
Okay.
I'll take 1 more of these artifacts and try my hand at pawning one off.
Okay. You going with him, Braun?
Oh sure, yeah. I'll go and see the druid in action here.
All right. So both of you make an investigation check, or you can assist. If one of you is much better at investigation, then the same person can make the check twice. But before anybody rolls, which one you're doing? Sorry. Investigation. Either both of you make 1 check, or one of you makes 2 checks.
Okay.
So, you can give one person advantage, or you can both make a roll.
Brian will support Jasper this morning.
So for investigation,
right.
To find a buyer, is that what you're looking for these magic weapons?
Yep.
All right.
And the blade.
Mm. Yes. Now, a persuasion check. Again, same thing. Either one of you make it twice, or both of you make one.
Do you mind if I take the persuasion?
No, not at all. You seem to be pretty good at look over, at persuading.
So Bron
Well,
has
you found such an ideal candidate here. See it.
persuasion with advantage. Good thing you had the advantage. Yes, you find over 20. Yeah, you find two sellers actually. First, you find a collector of antique weaponry who will buy the sword. They'll buy the sword for 650 gold, but they give you a price of 350 for the mace. They're not very interested in the mace, so you sell them the sword, but you take the mace, you keep it with you for a while, and you actually manage to sell the mace to the city guard, who will take it for one of their captains. The collector is less interested in the mace because it's fairly recent.
Right.
It's a little
It's not as amazing and antique-y.
Right. But the sword is a curiosity. So you'll actually make 650 for the sword and 500 for the mace. You can the sword will be sold back to you with platinum if you like. The mace is going to have to be gold.
Platinum's not really of any concern with me. I'll just.
Okay. It might be when you're weighed down by gold.
And you said 550 or 500?
500 gold.
All right.
And either 650 gold or 65 platinum.
All right.
I don't think we're going to get better deals than this, Jasper. I mean, we might, but we'd have to probably stay here for...
I'll take it. Especially since I got to go work, and.
Right. Yeah, you got to go teach. Yeah, right.
Yeah, these are some very successful checks.
Cool.
Just for a little transparency, it's like for the prices, it's kind of on a scale of 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and then 20 plus. So you got 20 plus on the persuasion.
Yep.
The only way it could have been better is if the investigation was 20 plus, which it literally couldn't be because you have a plus 0. So Bron, you have 2 more turns.
Great.
So reminder, you can wear armor, but I know you were thinking of. Oh no, you're not getting the feat. No. So you could get armor if you'd like. Jaskra, unless you go magical, I think Jaskra's wearing the best armor he can get. Because Jaskra is only proficient in light armor and hide. Right. So you couldn't get any better medium armor than hide.
Yeah.
Unless it was magic. But Bron can wear leather or studded leather.
Boy, it's tempting to go with armor, but I think I'm probably gonna stick with some form of magical protection, either my own sorcerer's powers.
Oh. Right, you can learn either like mage armor or shield.
Yeah.
Possibly false. Do sorcerers get false life?
Get what?
False life? It's a wizard spell.
Yes, they can.
Okay. That's just like a little bit of temporary HP.
Right. I think mage armor is probably the way to go. I'm just
Yeah.
hesitating over which first level spell I want to lose because I'm pretty fond
Right.
of both of them.
Right.
Ah,
It's tough. That's the curse of a sorcerer.
yeah.
You can also look to hire more help, which was one of the wizard's sort of soft suggestions, especially if you're not taking them with you.
Right. Um. Uh. Jasper, I wrote down that I took the 500 gold.
Okay,
Do you want to take the 650 for the sword?
sure.
Just so we have someone taking both
Yep.
of them out.
Yep, that works for me.
Okay. Then you have to go to work.
Yeah. I'm contemplating as I just like whack another rat, pick it up by the tail and grimace. And then I hold up my bag of money from the sword and I'm like, seriously. I stomp to the hunter's office. I plunk that
Oh,
rat
you
on.
were working at the academy, weren't you?
Oh, was I? Oh,
Yeah. No, it's yeah. That's why like Waylon is potentially making more money than you, but
okay.
only if she passes her check and rolls well. You are making a consistent 4 gold a day.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a little better because I was like, oh boy, if I'm out hunting too, I'm just gonna
Right.
stomp into the
And you're also spending
tanner's
less
office.
time.
I'm gonna be like,
Right.
I quit, and I'll waste my turns.
Yeah. You're working at the academy, which is less time consuming and more consistent
Okay.
than what Waylon is doing.
Yep.
Which has a low chance of she shoots a bear or something,
Mm-hmm.
which she's not going to do with a sling. But
Yeah.
so Ron, what do you do with the rest of your day?
I'm going to. I'm going to poke around for anybody selling, like any kind of spell scrolls, perhaps.
Absolutely. Make make an investigation or persuasion check. Either one.
Oh,
This is not nearly as hard as finding a seller for like regular magic items. This is much easier. Did you click it twice, or is it just the 14?
just the 14.
Okay.
Remember, the first one was his help for me
Right.
selling.
Right.
So.
So 14. Yes, you do manage to find someone who has a couple spell scrolls. Let's see. I'm more likely to have. So let me. 14.
Do you want me to say what I'm looking for, or do you want to?
Yeah. So tell me what you're looking for.
Okay.
In general or specific terms.
Right. Detect magic or sleep?
Okay. Detect magic is very easy to find. You absolutely find detect magic. That's a common because it's like a ritual. It's a lot more people can learn it, and I'm also just going on the fact that like multiple classes can learn the spell. Yeah, you can find a scroll of detect magic for. Let me reopen my pricing guide here. What's up, Jasper?
Are you sure you want to go find detect magic? 'Cause, I mean,
He can learn it as a ritual. That might be why.
That's my strategy.
Whoops, I'm clicking the wrong things, but I'm like,
Alright.
I have this as a spell. But, okay.
I suppose if Braun learns it, you don't have to prepare it necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Um,
And it is useful.
yeah. One. Yes, you can find a detect magic scroll for 60 gold. For sleep, you do find one for 70 gold.
Okay.
But you could buy multiple detect magic scrolls if you wanted. But they're 60 gold.
No.
50, 55. I said it was common. I'll bring it down a little bit. 55.
For detect magic?
For detect magic, 70 for sleep.
Okay, so detect magic is 55?
Yes. Sleep is 70.
Okay, I will.
You can basically find any level 1 wizard ritual spell for a spell scroll. Like they have all of those for 55. Sleep is
Okay, my eyes get really big. Okay, then can I get do you have a spell scroll of identify?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll take the spell scroll of detect magic and identify, and then I'm not going to take the sleep scroll. But
Okay.
I don't.
You have one more turn. You could use it to craft potions. You could use it to copy down a spell scroll. You could use it to search for more items or hirelings and so on.
Let's. Sorry, I'm just doing the math of.
I'm going to start marking turns on the map.
Yeah.
So
55.
I need to mark it for both players too.
I'm going to spend my last turn of the day buying the necessary ingredients and copying down tech magic into my ritual book.
All right.
Which is another 50 gold in 2 hours.
All right. Yeah. You can copy. You now know the ritual spell, detect magic. So did I do? We didn't do Wayland's hunting checks yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. So roll a survival check for her, and then the 1d4 if she rolls over a 10, and then you, Jaskra, just are. Yep. Okay, that's a success. Roll a 1d4, and Jaskra just automatically gets 4 gold.
All right.
Yeah. Your services are no longer. You could potentially get more work, but you've not committed to do anymore, so you can freely help Vron or do that.
So 71. All right.
All right. Day 3 in Hokoke. Are you guys still here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the day to go gathering up equipment of my own, I hope.
Okay. Braun, do you go shopping with Jaskra?
Sure, I'll go along with Jasper.
All right. And Waylon?
She's probably a bit discouraged as to all the money we're hauling around. And I will say, hey, well, that's all right. We've got you covered.
All right. So she can come with you guys, and if you need to buy anything for her,
Yep.
You can. She'll say she'd like to, if we can afford it, to buy a tent.
Yeah. I mean, oh, that's
It's heavy. It's a bit heavy.
It is,
but
yeah, no, that's not a problem.
2-person tent is 2 gold and 20 pounds.
Yep. 671. Once again, how much capacity do I have?
Just your strength. 8 times 15, whatever that is.
120. That's...
You're getting close.
That is true. I am getting very close. Except that...
Waylon will carry the tent. She's happy to carry the tent. She travels pretty light in general, so
yeah,
she's got the room. Just smaller than you both, but just broad. And again, not carrying much to do. She can carry 120 pounds total.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought that's what you said. Oh, no, she can carry more than that. She can carry 15, not times 10, 180. Braun, sorry, Braun can carry the same as Jasper.
All right.
So somebody can spend 2 gold for the tent.
I will do that.
All right. And if you want, I can add it to Waylon's annoying inventory. Since it's not going to be like taken in and that and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jasper, let's buy a donkey, and then we can just have the donkey cart everything that we're buying around on it.
No, I was going to suggest we buy him a barrel of water while we're at it.
Let's name it Eeyore.
I'm prepared for this.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare for much, but I prepared for this. Anything else? Are you looking at? Do you guys have the table of adventuring gear from the player's handbook? Access to that?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we split it out correctly as well.
Based on the general population that we're observing here, what kind of hirelings could we potentially find here?
Well, let me tell you. If you'd like to spend a turn to search, I won't make you make a check, but it'll be a turn to essentially find out all of the possible hirelings. But I'll give you the entire list.
Okay,
You spend
sure.
a turn
Okay.
to.
Yep, that's my
You
turn.
won't be able to hire any as this turn, but you'll learn the entire list.
Yep.
Let me screenshot the list for you.
Okay.
I've made I've made 3 categories and 3 hirelings within each category. And basically, the reason I made the categories was, one, to make it easier to navigate, but also because if I didn't make a hireling that fit your purposes, you could make one within that category. Whoops, that's the wrong. That's an old version. Ignore that. Here we go. So you can hire a fighter, a helper, or a specialist. Obviously, specialists can be, fighters they fight or protect. Helpers can do many different things, but they're all supportive. They're all making you guys better. And specialists are good at one very specific thing that doesn't fit either of the other categories necessarily. So just to help a bit, Diego was a specialist. He was a burglar. Margie was a helper, very much a helper. She was a healer. Waylon is kind of a helper, basically, but she's more capable in combat than any of the helpers on that list. She doesn't really fit the categories because she was a background follower. I made her separate from this kind of economy. You wouldn't be able to hire a river priest in Hokoke, but they don't usually work for hire. So yeah, if you wanted somebody like a tank, you probably want a shield guard, or a healer is not a tank, but they'll heal you, so they're helpful in that way too. If you wanted someone to do more damage, you'd probably want either a pikeman, an archer, or a fire mage, which are there's fire mages in this town because there's you don't know exactly much, but there was some sort of treaty further upriver that kind of put them out of work, and so there's a lot of a lot of sea elf fire mages in town looking for work.
Sea elf, you said?
Yes.
Because I was just looking at the list of boats.
Yeah, you could also get a boat. It won't be able to take you all the way to. A boat can only take you. A small boat could take you along Taterwater Creek most of the way to Orlane.
Yeah, and all we can really afford is a rowboat. So.
Right. So if you got a rowboat, that would cut your travel time back to Orlane. Well, you'd be going upriver.
True.
So it actually might slow your travel time. Because the river.
What is the forester?
The forester. Let me read my little description I wrote. A rugged woodsman familiar with the local terrain. So they can help you in a fight. They have a bow, but for the most part, their utility comes from navigating. They'll help you. They'll be a guide. They'll help you find your way, keep from getting lost. Maybe even cut your travel time depending on where you're going.
Oh, can we buy?
So that's why they're under specialist.
Does Hokoke have a Spelljammer shipyard?
don't know what that is, so probably not.
It's a spaceship made out of a stingray.
No, no, it does not have a spaceship. Spaceship dock.
And what does the Oracle do?
Oracle, a student of divination who lends their occult insights to those willing to pay. So I would say if I was to describe Waylon as a combination of any three of these helpers, it would be, or any three of these hirelings, it would be she's somewhere between an oracle, a healer, and a shield guard. Not as good at any of those things as any of those three, but like a little bit of all three. An oracle has a couple of ritual spells, or no, not ritual spells. She has a spell book, which she can cast like message at will, just like a short range telepathy. Augury once per day, so you can ask a question about something that you're planning on doing, and she'll tell you if it's going to end up good or not. Pretty vague answers, but like, yeah. You could have asked, for instance, we're gonna sneak into this temple. How is that going to go? And I probably would have given you a bad result, even though it worked out good for you. So, it's not perfect, but it like gives you a little bit of insight beyond what your senses can. Okay. She also knows detect magic and identify, which you have covered.
Aww.
She's probably the Oracle is probably like the least combat trained of any of these hirelings. The only thing she has no weapons. She has a dagger, so I guess that's a weapon. If she's going on an adventure, she'll purchase a little sword, a dagger. But she every turn she can. She has an attack called Dread Omen. One living creature within 30 feet of the diviner. Oh, I changed their name from diviner to oracle. Oops. Is shown a half-true omen of death. The creature must succeed on a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened of the Oracle until the end of the creature's next turn. So each turn they can attempt to make one creature afraid of them for that turn.
Oh.
So a little bit of combat utility. A little bit, but only insofar as it helps you.
All right,
You won't be killing anything.
I'm sorry to keep like.
No. This is why I'm showing you.
All these.
No, feel free.
I
made them so
the minstrel like a bard sort of.
Yeah. The minstrel will make you feel accomplished. They're similar. I would say they're probably just about as unhelpful in combat as the oracle, or they're quite helpful in combat. Won't be killing anything because all he has is a dagger. But similar to how the oracle can attempt to frighten something each turn, the minstrel can inspire one person each turn with a 1d4. So every turn you can get 1d4 inspiration die if the minstrel does nothing else. So that's what they do in combat. So quite helpful. But also quite like you guys, doesn't have much armor. Actually, the minstrel doesn't have any armor. Yeah, literally, I think I put down fine clothes. The Oracle has robes. So.
Okay. What are the rates of these characters? These people per day.
2 gold per day.
Okay.
And though they will pay for their food and lodging, it's a little bit like tipping. It's like if you're a good host, if you're a good employer, you'll pay for that stuff. But then again, you're going to be on the road, so. You can essentially agree to hire one now, but not start paying them until you leave town.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, because they already have a place to stay if they're here. It's just like agreeing when the job will start.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't take another job first. The shield guard is just like the fighters are almost exactly the same. The shield guard has a shield and a sword. They have the same reaction that Pete did, where he can impose disadvantage on an attack if he's right next to an ally. He can kind of help you guys defend you guys a little bit. The pikeman has a pike. They're good at like holding down a position. They have an action called brace, where if it says if the pikeman holds their attack with the trigger when an enemy enters my melee range, the attack is made with advantage. So if they hold up in a position while something's charging towards them, they can do a lot of damage with that attack. Which is what they were trained for, is holding a position. They also can do quite a lot of damage with the pike. And the archer is exactly what it sounds like. They have a heavy crossbow. I basically used the follower archer stats for Huber, the archer that almost killed Ron.
Ooh, oh, that guy. I remember him. Yeah. Okay.
The healer is, you had a healer.
Yeah.
The stats are exactly the same as Margie, although a level higher. I made Margie level 1. But she did level up during her time with you. Yeah, all of these are essentially level 2 hirelings, although that doesn't mean the same thing as it does for player characters.
Right.
You had a burglar already. Yeah, we basically covered it well. And if there's a specific hireling task that you wanted them for that none of these cover, we can make one. Like if for some reason you wanted...
Let's hire 50 pikemen and...
just hire a phalanx, yeah. You probably could afford it, at least for a few days. They'd be unorganized because you're hiring them individually. You'll have to train them to fight in a phalanx formation.
Do we have to hire them one at a time?
Well, it might be more if you're hiring an organized phalanx.
Yeah.
I mean, after a point, we're basically just gonna stay in Hokuk for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Hey, this is our campaign. Just bombing around Hokuk, just doing whatever.
But you guys could probably afford to hire you could technically afford to hire several followers, but who knows how long you'll be able to continue employing them. I'd say it would be reasonable for you to hire 2, or at least 1, But you also, I'm sure, don't want to crowd the party. It's hard to be stealthy if you have a huge group.
Yeah.
Might slow your travel as well. You don't have to worry about rations.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. Is the jar of pills good for everyone, or is that just me?
No, anyone can eat from it. I'd say if you're gonna end up with 5 people, then I might begin to put a limit on how long it'll sustain you, maybe a week.
Right.
But there's enough in there for 5 or 6 people to only eat that for a week.
Okay.
Morale won't be great. They'll be alive.
Here's your bill.
Yeah. And you'll still need water, but if you guys are getting a mule and a barrel, that'll cover that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to use my last turn of the day to find a donkey and a. Can I get a donkey and a barrel of water in the same
Yeah,
turn?
yeah. And in fact, honestly, you probably could do that while you guys were shopping for other stuff. So you took everybody with you to go shopping, and I think all you got was a tent and maybe some. You got something else. But, yeah. So you could have gotten a donkey and a barrel during all that.
All right.
So let me see. The first term was shopping. Second term was finding out about who's in town to hire. Anything else you guys are doing today? At the end of your third day.
Yeah, third day. Okay, I'm going to. Oh man, I'm going to make one. I'm going to make one more healing potion, I guess.
All right. So that'll be if you're making just a basic healing potion, 26 gold.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was Ron's last turn. Are you guys doing anything with the rest of your turn? You don't have to necessarily.
If there is a potioner in town, not necessarily an alchemist, I would like to pick up, at least 3 vials of antitoxin, considering the fact that we're going up against a Naga.
All right. Ron can pick up one while he's working on potions for a slightly reduced price. Ron can pick one up for 45 gold. Jaskra, you can purchase 2 more for 50 gold each.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely get the 2 myself.
All right. And Braun, are you picking up another one for him? From the guy that is letting you use his workshop is offering you 1 bottle of antitoxin for a slightly reduced price, 45 gold instead of 50. I just mentioned it because Jasper was buying antitoxin.
Sure, I'll do that.
45 gold, and then there's your 3rd bottle of antitoxin. Jasker, while you're looking at antitoxin, they do have a couple more potions present.
Yes, I would like to see these.
Roll. What do you think? What do you think you should roll to see how good these other potions are? How about I want you to roll a persuasion check, looking at the specific potions that you might have access to.
All right.
It's 14. That's not bad for you, and advantage because Wayland's helping you out. 18. You're asking about like what other potions you have, and he points you first to. Oh well, I've got I gotta find out what these are.
What are you? And then Waylon's like, "What are you talking about? That's just a jug of water." No, this one's.
He's got 1 elixir of health, which will cure. It can cure disease depending on the disease, and it removes the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned conditions. So it's slightly better than an antitoxin. It's basically just a slightly better version of an antitoxin. It just cures more things, but it does the thing that an antitoxin does, plus a bit more. It's 120 gold.
I see. How many servings? Is it just the one? Just one use, single use.
Yeah, single use. I messed up the price for the greater healing potion, by the way. Braun, if you wanted to make or purchase a greater healing potion, it's not 450, it's 150 to buy,
Oh,
which would bring it down to 75 to make, plus 1 for the workshop. So 76 to make, 150 to buy. And I would say any value of potion above that, like the superior healing potion, is honestly too good to be useful to you guys because it would heal more than you have. And also, it's very expensive. So just to correct myself, it's 150 instead of 450. It'll take a little bit longer to craft, though. So you might be better off buying the potion guy that you're working with. Braun has one, and he'll sell you one for 145. Jaskra, the person you're looking at, has 2 for 150 each. Mm-hmm. And I'll say you can communicate with Braun back and forth if you're close enough. But I'm not going to say that you don't know that Braun has a good deal.
Okay.
You know that Braun could purchase one greater healing potion for 5 gold less than you're being offered.
Yep.
The person selling you potions, she also has a potion of fire breath for 170 gold. And because your persuasion was really good, she'll think for a moment and, well, I suppose I've also got looks around the shop to make sure nobody's watching, and pulls from a box under the desk a potion of poison.
Ooh.
Which looks like a potion of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not experienced with potions, you might mistake it for one, but in fact it is poisonous, and it does quite a bit of poison damage.
Yep.
To one who drinks it. So it's kind of a trap. And the other one is the highly illegal love potion, the filter of love.
And each of those are...
The poison potion is 100 gold.
Mm-hmm.
The love potion is going to be 120. Partly because they're difficult to make, but also because they're difficult to sell.
Yep. I do like the sound of both of them, honestly.
Keep in mind that any creature that's immune to being charmed is also immune to the filter of life.
Right. Well, this 600 and some odd gold is burning a hole in my pocket, so both will be fine, I think.
Alright, so you'll spend 120 on the love potion and
Yep.
100 gold on the poison potion?
Yep.
Alright. You carefully, she reminds you, put the potion in a different place. You put the other potions. Do you buy any healing potions? She has a 2 greater, but you can communicate with Braun if whether Braun or not is going to buy his discounted greater healing potion. For, 145.
One sec.
This turn system is quite confusing, but I couldn't think of a better way to regulate how much time you're in. Okay.
So you're asking if I'm communicating with Braun to see if he can get a better
Yeah,
price
yeah,
on these?
yeah. I'm asking both of you. Are you guys buying any healing potions in addition to what Braun is making? So you could buy one greater healing potion for 145 gold.
Yeah.
You could buy two more for 150 each. And then, you know, any basic healing potions are going to be 50 gold. But Braun is currently making... Braun's made two, right?
Yes, I've made 2 so far, and I bought the antitop.
And Jasper bought 2 more antitoxins.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys can't... well, Waylon can heal, and Jasper can heal.
Right.
But Jasper can only heal if you spend that, you know, preparation spell. Or, yeah, if you prepare that spell.
Mm-hmm.
And Waylon can only heal once per day.
Speaking of, out of curiosity,
I think between Waylon and our healing potions we have now, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Yay!
Oh, and did you guys? You guys didn't pay for the mule and the bucket yet, did you? Or not?
I have not.
Okay, so the mule, is going to be. I don't like how cheap mules and donkeys are. That seems crazy. They're so good. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's 10 gold. That's me bringing the price up.
All right, here's a platinum for you.
Oh yeah. That's cool. You just slam one platinum down. And a barrel is going to cost 2 gold.
All right.
If someone tries to upcharge you, but then you just you just pick one up from a local winery. for 2 gold.
Did we end up buying a tent? I forget.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think you spent the gold already.
Mm-hmm. And it should be in Waylon's inventory.
You can also, you might want to buy some rope and some feed for the mule. You could use, you could use like the little. You're not sure if the orbs are gonna work for the donkey.
Yeah, they might not. Yeah.
Even if they do work, it's gonna be a chore to like feed it. So you might want to buy a sack and some feed. Let me make a handout for the donkey. 31. Sorry, part 2. And under followers. Oh, that's mean. I don't want to put the donkey in the same place as the followers. So, maybe it's not. Is that mean if I do? Is that mean to Waylon that she's in the same category as a donkey, or is it mean to the donkey if I put the donkey in another category?
I don't know. If the donkey can talk.
It cannot. Well, it can talk in Roll20 chat, but
yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna make a handout under followers just for keep it simple. Eeyore. Where's my Eeyore picture? I had an Eeyore picture. I had this. I searched and searched for the same Eeyore picture that you used, John, and I finally found it.
That was actually Daniel, I think, that set that.
Oh, okay. Did I mention because I wanted to surprise you guys with the same Eeyore picture.
You knew we were gonna do it, huh?
Yeah. And all right, so there's the Eeyore, and I also made an Eeyore token. So Eeyore is carrying. I'm not gonna keep track of weight unless you really load up Eeyore. Tent, barrel, red disease water, food, bag, whole sack of food. Oh wait, no, Eeyore's not carrying 10. Oh, good. At the moment, Eeyore is carrying a barrel full of water and a sack of food. So how much? And some rope. Oops. That's not what I meant to. This is going a little bit longer than I thought it would. So how much? I'll say how much. Did you take down the cost of the donkey and the barrel?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
deducted.
Okay. I think it was 12 gold total. 10 for the mule, 2 for the bear. How much rope are you getting? If you're getting rope for Eeyore?
Yeah, I'm gonna purchase one, and then I'm also gonna give Eeyore my own rope that I've been carrying around.
All right, so 1 gold for 50 feet of rope, and I'll just put down 100 feet of rope.
Okay.
For Eeyore. Oops, I did 100. And the sack is 1 copper. So this is mark off a gold and add 9 copper.
All right.
No, it would be mark off a silver. If you don't have any silver, then mark off a gold, add 9 silver, and then 1 copper. Complicated.
6, 8, no, 16. I do have 1 copper.
Okay, so you can spend the copper and.
Oh boy, this is complicated.
So let me know when you've figured out the money for the sack, and I'll give you the rations.
As long as we're just throwing stuff onto Eeyore. I think we should have a grappling hook.
All right, grappling hook is 2 gold.
Okay.
I think just about anything on this basic adventuring gear table you'll be able to find without a check.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Including Alchemist's Fire, which actually does seem a little bit occult, but you can find it. I said it's on the table.
I also have written down here on my list of stuff that I wanted to get. A couple jars of oil.
All right. That's easy enough. Okay, a ceramic flask of oil will be, which is how it's usually sold, 1 silver piece each.
Alright, are we worried about weight on the oil?
A barrel of water is very heavy.
Yeah. I'll get.
I'm gonna say Eeyore can carry a full barrel of water, a sack of food, and some rope. Anything else better be really light, or it's not gonna.
Okay. You
You could also hire somebody to manage your donkey, and that'll only be 1 gold per day. And you won't have to worry about your fights and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's hire somebody to manage Eeyore.
What is their name?
John.
John, and you can call them your squire or whatever. Is there a name for this job? I know it's a job that exists.
Handler?
Handler, yeah. John Handler.
Then I will carry the jars of oil myself.
All right. How many?
3.
All right, so 3 copper. Wait, 3 copper, or was it 6 copper? Oh, sorry, 3 silver, not copper. 3 silver for the flasks of oil. And how much food are you getting for Eeyore? It's 4 days to the mountain if you're heading there. If you're heading to, where you saw the vision, it'll be pushing 8 days to the lair of the reptile god from either here or the mountain. So
I think we've got to go for 8 days here.
Okay. And there's a, Eeyore can cut that a little bit by grazing, but like it'll be, but if Eeyore is traveling, then grazing at night is only going to save you like 1 out of every 4 days. It's not gonna. Eeyore can't travel consistently and graze enough food to sustain it.
Yeah.
So 8 days of feed will be. But they better have that on this adventure gear. So it's not just. Vehicles, looking in mountain vehicles. Yeah, feed. Oh man. 5 copper, so it's very cheap. It does weigh 10 pounds for a day. Yeah, so definitely Eeyore can carry the barrel of water, the sack of food, and the rope. Nothing else. So 8 days is going to be 80 pounds of food, and it's going to cost. $40 copper, which is 4 silver.
Okay. Jasper, I think we need to convene here because I've still got a lot of gold on me, and I'm not sure if you do, but...
I do. I do indeed.
You're thinking of magic item shopping? Sorry.
I'm okay with actually paying my friend some pocket change to stay at his place.
That means you will not have to make a check, and it would be less money than staying at an inn of similar worth. You'll essentially be living a modest lifestyle for the price of a. Let's say if you give him. Well, I mean, you can tell me how much you give him, or you can give him 5 silver.
I'll give him a gold to cover the last couple days.
We'll appreciate it. Oh yeah, I was thinking per day. Um, okay. So if that's the end of your third day, and your fourth day. What do you do?
Yeah, I think. So, Jaska, if I convert all my money to gold right now, I have like 680, almost 690 gold. So, what do you want to do with what we have left?
690 plus another, basically 400.
Gee.
I don't know. We could buy a chariot or two.
One of the things you mentioned, or maybe I mentioned, was that if you were to take Gil with you, he'll slow you down no matter what, but you might be able to compensate for that a little bit if you bought him a pony.
That was I actually thinking about that? Yeah, I was. When he was going on about, like, oh, I can't keep up. I'm like, let's just buy you a horse. I would be up for doing that for him. Because I mean, aside from nostalgia and stuff, he's also extremely high level and useful as such.
He is certainly useful. And I think
feet, that's faster than me. Well, on a bad day. He's a dwarf. We could pay 5 gold less and buy him a mastiff to ride.
He's a bit big for a mastiff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking pony, but he's a dwarf. He's a medium creature. I might need to buy him a horse.
Yeah, I'm still up for it.
You have to help him on and off the horse. A pony's probably good. He's pretty light. But the pony won't be carrying anything else. Just him.
Right.
And his gear with the he have on.
We can buy a pony, or no, we can buy the horse, but we'll also need to buy a bucket to act as like a stool, step stool.
Right. The horse could carry the pony. I don't know if a pony can carry him and its own feed. Yeah, you should get you'll probably want to get a horse, a step stool, and some feed for the horse.
Yep. I'll take care of that then.
All right. And you're, the same person you hire for Eeyore can take care of the horse as well. You guys you're probably proficient in animal handling, right? I don't know, but you're not.
I am, I believe.
You're not like.
Yes, I am proficient in animal handling.
Okay.
So
you could take care of these animals, but yeah, if Braun's hiring someone else, are you planning on hiring anyone else, or are you going with the allies you have now?
I feel like we've got pretty much enough, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Waylon, and if you're getting the horse, I assume you're planning on taking the wizard with you.
Yes.
Okay.
The wizard would probably be much more of a help than any particular other hirelings.
Yeah, the hirelings are essentially like equivalent to a level 1 player character with a little bit more sustainability, like a little more health.
Part of me still wants to hire like 10 archers and like march them through the woods toward this cult, but I guess we should go small and swift here.
Speaking of the horses, what are you looking at as far as horses go? You can get a draft horse, which can carry more stuff. A riding horse is faster. And a war horse can do both and is a war horse. Riding horse is more expensive than a draft horse. A draft horse is the cheapest one you'll be able to get, and won't have any trouble carrying the wizard, its own feed, and maybe a few other things.
Okay.
But a riding horse will be able to easily carry both him and the feed, and can go quite fast if it needs to.
Yeah, it can.
A draft horse is like wide and stocky.
And more for carrying by the look of it.
Yeah, for like pulling, like hauling farming equipment and stuff.
Yep.
But
I say we go with the draft horse.
I would too.
there aren't a lot of tabard. What do you call it? A tabard if it's for a horse? Is it still a tabard? You know this thing, the fancy. You've never seen a knight on a draft horse, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll serve your purpose well. So 50 gold for a draft horse, and if you're going with the same 8 days, right. A Britain bridle will be an additional 2 gold. A saddle. Let me just pull the money together because you don't have to keep track of all these items. Horse is 50 gold.
2 plus.
Bridle is 2 gold. It's 52.
7.
Plus. Just a riding saddle will be 10 gold.
Mm-hmm.
So 62. Yeah, 62 gold if you're just getting the horse, bit and bridle, and the riding saddle.
Yep.
I would say, why don't you spend an additional 5 gold for the mule, because you would have bought a pack saddle, just to like hold your equipment. Not like an actual riding saddle, but just a thing to secure your equipment on the horse. Or on the mule. So
I'll take care of that as well.
So yes, 62 gold for the pack horse and all its accoutrement. And you'll have to remember, from the point at which you leave town, every day outside of Hoke is going to cost you 1 gold for your the person who's accompanying you with the horses and stuff.
All
The
right.
horse and the mule. What was their name again? John Handler.
John Handler, yeah.
Alright. And the feed. We already discussed
It was
this.
8
80
days, I think.
pounds. 8 days.
40 copper, which is
4 silver. So yeah, 4 silver for the feed, and
or 0.4
it
gold.
was- yeah.
Gold seems to be our commodity of choice.
and this probably comes in a sack. So let me give you the price of the sack. 4 copper and.
Wow.
I'm glad we made a separate session for this.
Oh yeah, this would be.
This would be the entire 1 copper for the sack.
This is just for the horse, right?
Yes.
Okay, because we
Well,
we should have.
there was like 5 gold for Eeyore, but
Yeah.
for Eeyore's pack saddle, but that's it. We don't need to add pack saddle to your. I'll give you a sheet for the horse, but like you don't need to keep track of the bit and the bridle and the saddle and all that.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just part of the horse, basically. Whew.
I really want a fishing pole.
All right.
It keeps,
fishing pole.
Yeah, it keeps popping up. I'm like, 1 gold. That's
Yeah.
not a lot. And it would also even out my amount of gold that I'm carrying, so I don't have to keep doing math in my head.
Fishing tackle
Mm-hmm.
on the in the player's handbook. Does that include the rod?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so that's 1 gold.
Rod, line, bobber, hook, sinkers, lures, and netting.
All right, 1 gold weighs 4 pounds.
All right.
I'll say you don't have to worry about collecting bait and all that stuff.
All right. Cool.
While Jaska is doing all of this purchasing, I would like to copy Identify into my ritual book.
All right. However much that costs, I don't know, but you know, so go ahead and do that. You don't have, help with it this time, but it'll just spend however much time it does, like a turn or whatever. So this is your 4th day?
4th day, yeah.
But I mean, you could leave midday if you wanted, if you don't have anything else, or you can spend the end of this day in town. If you've still got lots of money left over, you could attempt to search for an pricey magic item vendor.
Are we consuming rations for these 4 days?
You don't have to consume rations. It's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. You are staying with a friend, but for food, let me just really quickly. Why don't you just mark off like 2 silver per day? I would say for 4 days, that'll be. Why don't you just mark off a gold for your whole stay here, just for consuming food and stuff for each person. That includes Waylon.
I'll get Wayland.
Okay. So that'll be 3 gold just for the whole entire expedition.
All right.
And you don't need to consume rations. That's just for getting food in the city. Speaking of rations, though, oh no, you have the jar. I was gonna say, do you guys want to get rations, but you got that covered. So yeah, anything else you want to do this day? So you've all got like 2 turns left.
This search for a magic item does seem like a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah, Jasper, you want to come with me in case we can help each other out?
Yep. And besides, I've got, like, if we run into something that you just can't pass up, but don't have enough money for.
Yep. All right. So investigation check, same thing as before. You can both make it, or one person can have advantage. All right. So Jessica rolled bad. So let's see, Braun. What will you roll?
Hey.
You spend the next turn, you are unable to find anything, but you can continue looking. Spend your 3rd turn.
Man, I thought we came from this town. I feel like we're going in circles.
You did, but you were not adventurers in this town. So you don't know where adventurers shop.
I thought you were in academia. You should know where these things are, Jeff.
I've got an office.
I will help Jasper this turn.
All right. So Jasper has advantage and roll a 15. You do manage to find something. Let's see what you find. Let's do a persuasion check to see how good this find is. Braun? Or were you helping Jasper on the persuasion? 12. All right. Let's see what you find.
I told you, Braun's the persuasive one. He's the negotiator.
It's the wispy hair. It's the vacant gaze.
You just kind of wander in and look like you escaped the old folks' home, and they feel sorry for you and they give you deals.
Exactly. Smarts.
So I'm just skimming this here. Took me all over. All right, you find a this kind of weird, shady curiosity shop, and you go in. There's like this intense smell of incense and garlic and mulch. I don't know. It's a lot of different smells.
Mm-hmm.
They do have potions, but they are expensive, and you're not like some of them are for like erectile dysfunction or like good luck, and none of them are like the kind of things an adventurer would necessarily value.
Yeah, right.
But you do find a couple of things with your detect magic and your persuasive. You're talking to the owner and then peeking around yourself. You manage to find a couple of things that you know are magic items. You find this little blue turquoise figurine of a bird. After checking out for a little while and using your newly discovered identify spell, you identify it as a figurine of wondrous power, specifically a turquoise honey guide. This honey guide will function as the locate animals or plants spell. You name a you speak the command word, which in this case is a specific whistle that you whistle at the bird. It'll come to life and whistle back at you, and you speak the word of you can say honey or beehive or fox or red dragon, and it will, well, probably not red dragon. I think it has to be a beast or a plant, but it will fly in the direction of whatever that is. It'll fly off in that direction if there is one nearby, and it'll land on a branch and wait for you to catch up, and it'll keep flying and lead you to the location. You are warned by the shopkeeper that it will then expect a treat for its hard work.
What kind of
She shrugs. She shrugs and says, "I've never used it myself, but I've just heard they can be a little. They're proud of their work." So you find that figurine. It's going to cost 500 gold.
Okay.
400. It's going to cost 400 gold for that figurine. You also find a very intricate, it's about the size of like a small square tissue box. Those you've got the long ones and you've got the square ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the size of a square tissue box. It's a heavy iron bell with like just dotted patterns all over it. And when you ring this bell, you don't hear the ring. There's no ring. And then you notice there's no sound around it either. It's a bell of silence. and you can ring this bell for a total of I think it was like 1 minute, or yeah, there's a duration, not a long duration of time that this bell can be ringing. It does not have to be consecutive, so you could ring it for 30 seconds and then later ring it for another 30 seconds. So there's a number of rounds where this bell can be rung per day. And it just creates an area of silence centered on the bell. That is going to run you... That's going to be 700 gold for the Bell of Silence.
Okay.
650. Sorry, I'm going back and forth because these are items I made up that have an actual cost for them. So I'm just looking at other items on this list and trying to compare. Like, what is a Bell of Silence roughly equal to? So I'm giving it like a little bit more than a Helm of Comprehend Languages. So you find those.
Braun tries to play Jasker's lute. Jasker becomes so disgusted and annoyed that he casts the Bell of Silence. You can't.
You find a couple. There's a little. There's a shelf that has 3 crossbow bolts on it, but they are it's 3 arrowheads. Sorry, no arrow in them, but there's 3 beautifully intricate arrowheads. They are. Oh, I'm actually going to send a picture. Alright, we'll end soon, I promise. I expected this to be time-consuming, which is why I made it a separate session, but Jesus. Here you go. So 3 very intricate arrowheads.
Oh, cool.
2 of them are, and again, you'll have to fletch these 2 arrows. 2 of them are arrows of undead slaying. They do a bunch of extra radiant damage to undead creatures. And 1 of them is an arrow of fiend slaying, the big one. They have very intricate celestial writing on them. The big one has like a wing motif on it. The other 2 have a sun drawn on them, with sunlight radiating towards the tip of the arrow.
Yep.
Yeah. So 2 arrows of undead slaying, 1 arrow of fiend slaying, and those will cost. $300 gold each. 250 gold each. That's a lot for a consumable. But I'm already bringing the price for it down. But it says in here.
Single use?
200. Single used.
Got it.
If you hit. If you miss, there's a chance it might not be used. You might be able to pick it up afterwards. But if you hit, it's consumed. If you hit its target, that is, because it will literally explode with radiant light. If you hit its target.
Yep.
A great many magical spells have to have a verbal component to them. I really think we could get a lot of practical use out of the Bell of Silence.
I like it. That is a very good point, and I did not remember that, but I remember that now, doing that on Rocco.
Right.
I screwed up that entire encounter just by casting silence.
Like I said, the Bell of Silence was 650 gold.
Yes, 650.
Yeah, 650 for the bell, 400 for the figurine, and 250.
Yeah.
250 each for the arrows.
Okay.
The unfletched arrowheads.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jaska,
Huh?
can I borrow 120 gold from you?
Yeah. You have it.
Alright. I sigh very dramatically, and then I offer to purchase the Bell of Silence.
All right, you have it. Mark off 650 gold or 65 platinum, and it's going to weigh. There's no Bell of Silence in the compendium, so just add Bell of Silence, and it's going to weigh.
Just a spell scroll of silence.
It's pretty heavy. Just looking at the it's going to weigh 5 pounds.
Okay.
So it's a heavy iron bell. It actually comes with a little iron rod to whack it, which is secured to the top of the bell with a little chain.
Yep.
Does it have like a little muffler that would keep the tongue from swinging?
It does not, but it comes with this. It was sitting on a folded silk cloth that is wrapped around the iron thing, so the iron rod.
Mm-hmm.
So you can wrap the whole thing in the silk, pull the thing together.
Okay. Great.
And the chain is long enough that when it was sitting on the shelf, like the rod was like 2 inches away from the bell, so they wouldn't whack together accidentally.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Is that all? Just the bell?
That's all I can afford now.
Okay. I'm glad you guys bought the bell, because it's one of my favorite items that I've made, and nobody ever buys it. Or if they find it, they don't use it. But, yeah.
Cool.
Jaska, in partial payment for your portion of the bell, I'm going to hand you the that 30 gold bottle of wine that we found in the temple there.
Oh, okay.
Jessica has a half full bottle, and now he has a full unopened bottle, unspoiled.
Yep. Gwyn MacLear.
Yeah.
So
I won't make you do a check if you're attempting to sell that. You can find a seller, no problem, or a buyer, no problem, or you can keep it.
I'll just
keep it for bribes.
Up my quantity from 0.5 to 1.5.
Okay.
Assuming
yeah,
it's the same
you will not be able to sell the opened bottle.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. But the unopened one is basically 30 gold that you have. Again, though, it's a valuable. It's popular with bribes. Like
okay.
it's a fancy gift.
Mm-hmm. All right. Did I give the Sunstone to anybody? I think I did.
I think Ron has it.
I don't have it. Jaska.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
No, actually, no. What happened? I did have it. I gave it to Gil. Gil gave it to Jasper.
Right, that's what it was.
Oh, I did not realize he gave it back. Okay.
Yeah, he gave it to Jasper.
Alright, I will re-equip it then, because it was grayed
Right.
out on
I assume you've told Jasper the command words. Or no, the wizard told Jasper the command words. So yeah, you both know all three of the command words. And how many charges it has.
Yeah.
It also basically the point to the nearest port city. You know, you're in the nearest port city.
Mhm.
It basically functions as a compass, but instead of pointing north, it points towards.
Oh, which
It's like a radial compass. It points to Hokoke.
which is probably Hochuk. Yeah, right.
Anywhere outside of Hokoke, unless you go really far in any direction. In this adventure, you're not going to get to a point where there's any port city closer than Hokoke. So it's essentially, it'll show you the direction of Hokoke, and from there, it basically will function as a compass.
Yep. All right.
So since I have squandered all of my pocket change on this Bell of Silence, Jasper, it is completely up to you whether we actually bring any hirelings or do anything else, since I am broke again, like a proper hermit should be.
You already.
And this is
Yeah.
this is the end of day 4.
Yeah.
If this is the last thing you do, it's a pretty clean end.
I feel like, yeah, I'm willing to hoard whatever else I have left.
Okay. How much do you have left?
Like 200. Little over 200.
Right. You could always buy more healing potions.
Yeah.
The greater healing potions are 150. So you could spend 115 and get one more greater. Or you could spend regular healing potions are 50 gold. And those are pretty good for your level, you know, they're good enough.
Yep.
2d4 plus 2, so it's possible you might only heal 6 health, which happened to Gil. Now that's what you can do. You can get him another healing potion because you used 2 of his, or you used 1 of his.
Sure.
And then
Sure. Healing.
So a regular healing potion is 50 gold. A greater healing potion, which is 4d4 plus 4, is 150.
Well, I just spent 150. I'll just go with the standard. 3 of the standard.
All right, so I'll have 50 gold left.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so 150 on 3 regular healing potions. So healing potions are always a good. You're purchasing life. All right. I think we can end there, and you'll play leave in the morning of your 5th day in Hokoke.
Yeah.
All right. And where are you guys thinking of heading? Are you heading back towards Orlane, or are you heading into the dim forest northward towards?
I believe it was Dim Forest portal area.
Heading towards Bayorun, the one rolling hill like these that rises above the others.
Yep. All right.
All right, this was fun. Very, very glad this was its own session. Oh my god. I'll see you guys probably eventually. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Bye.
Yep. Take care. All right, Sean. I will talk to you later, too.
That was fun, but
It
I'm
was.
glad that wasn't the usual session.
Yeah, well, 2.5 hours anyway.
Yeah.
Man. Cool. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Thank you, Atten. I'll hopefully be seeing you lurking on the stream some other day.